Hello.
No, hold on. I don't know if we're doing just what yet. I think we are doing good. And we're live. Okay, excellent.
Okay. Hey, good morning, good afternoon to everybody, wherever you're at, and officially Happy New Year. I mean, well, Brett, you haven't said Happy New Year yet. I've already did a Facebook.
Yes. So first and foremost, we do the best that we possibly can with these Facebook Live videos. We come here, we have all these magnetic locks because we've been on lockdown here at headquarters as well as Greenlee Farm, and we can't get into the door. So we had to have maintenance come in. So again, I apologize. Mark apologizes. Players Network apologizes. We're doing the best we can, but it's just, it's Murphy's Law. So yes, back to Happy New Year. We have a lot to be thankful for. This last year has been pretty good for Players Network, our shareholders, so on and so forth. And we're excited about everything that's going on. Mark and I worked on this letter, your letter, and it's pretty amazing all the things that we were able to do in 2017.
Reflecting back on 2017, it really was an amazing year. I mean, the bar moved in so many places. It moved on the media side. It moved on the new business development side with the Accelerator. The Greenleaf Farm side, we got 4 licenses. And we got through the majority of our construction for this phase, and we have all kinds of amazing things to talk to you about. Everyone out there keeps asking us for updates. We are trying to work. We literally work 16 to 18 hours almost every single day.
I've been working since yesterday.
Yeah, so we either got to spend our time doing updates and telling people every little nuance, or you can wait and be surprised when we hit major milestones.
And I'm going to talk about that. Guys, we're doing the best we can. I mean, it's going to be, you guys kind of have to make a decision. Do you want us to run the company, or do you want us to update you all the time with everything that's going on?
Yeah, you can always email us, and might get back to you at 2 in the morning. But everyone out there knows every time they email, they do get back to us. So listen, let's put that. We made our point. We put that aside. We got an exciting.
Well, I'm going to keep us right in line with all the main topics, so we can go right in line. So hopefully you've all had a chance to read our press release this morning, the letter that Mark put out to all of our shareholders. And why don't we just take it from the top? We got a lot to cover, and we got a little bit of time.
Sounds good. And
can't hear anything?
No. You can't hear us at all.
On. Let's just hold on. Mark, can you jump?
I guess you can't hear us right now. Is what we're heard. So let's see what happens. You guys want to use my phone?
No.
Is it audio?
I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Okay. We have an audio issue, so give us 2 minutes, please.
I'm going to tell you when to talk. Okay, they're saying they can hear us. Mark, I need you to keep talking for a second.
Okay, we are told now that you can hear us. So I guess we had more technical difficulties. Technology is amazing. It's came so far, but we still are relying on servers and microphones and maybe human error. Anyway, thank you for whoever is telling us you can hear us. So we're back. Brett, please. And Jeff Lawrence going to join us in a few minutes. Okay. Right now he's just he's playing director, making sure we don't say anything wrong on camera.
All right, so we're back. So let's take this kind of from the top. And again, hopefully you had a chance to review the press release that we sent out, Mark's letter to the shareholders. And we spent a lot of time on that. And hopefully this will provide a little bit more insight. Again, we didn't want to type a novel, although we easily could have. So let's go through this. I mean, I want to talk about, expanding our management team. This is a big year. I mean, we've made some pretty big hires. We brought some great people onto the team. One of them is Geoffrey Lawrence, who's going to be joining us here in a minute.
Well, one of the things I want to say about management, we're still a small company, and we're still, in many ways, a startup. Even though we've been around a long time, a lot of things we're doing are new. And we are so blessed. I mean, the type of management we brought on are people that should be and could be working for Fortune 500 companies.
Don't tell them that.
And we
don't tell them that.
You guys didn't hear that, no. No, honestly, look, we had a great team. We got a great work environment. Everybody's well incentivized to make sure that we can be successful, but we don't want to settle for less. And you're going to see not only this tremendous team we've expanded in 2018. We even said, told you the press release went from 5 people to 24 full-time people now. And guess what? We're ready to ramp up again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, for the next things. I don't know where we're going to be at the end of 2018, but I would say there's a good chance we're going to have to be up in the high 70s or 80s. There's people on board
on the low end, just to keep up with our current without any updates.
Look, we could have 200, but the reality is that we're really poised to grow, and we're not going to be able to grow without revenues. So, you know, we all want to get to revenues, but we had to build an amazing foundation, and I think that's what we did in 2017. We built something that's going to be strong, resilient, long-lasting, compliant, a story that we think is second to none out there with anybody in the media or the marijuana space. We think the combination of what we did by merging these things together is going to be the killer company, and I believe we are going to be a global leader, and we will be the killer company because we did this foundation.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to stay focused. We've got a lot to go on.
Yeah, but I want to say one more thing about this foundation here.
Okay.
If you're going to make a movie, if you're going to make a TV show, whatever you're going to do, the secret to success is good pre-production. So I look at the foundation as what we did is amazing pre-production and infrastructure that now we can build a skyscraper on.
Exactly. And I want to talk about some of the key personnel. I mean, Geoffrey Lawrence, who will be joining us in a little while. Geoffrey's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. I consider him one of the best policy minds in the country. He understands regulation. He was initially brought in as he's brought in as our chief financial officer. But what I'm most excited about, and we'll talk about it when he joins us, is the chief compliance officer. I mean, he really understands the regulation, he understands the red tape, and as we start to expand Greenleaf Farms into other markets, there's no one better that we could have to help guide us than Geoffrey Lawrence.
Yeah, you know, when we went through the application process 3 years ago, it was a struggle. I mean, it was a 2,500-page application, one of them, and we had 3 applications and 3 versions of them. I wish we had someone like Jeff back then. Now it's only going to make our job easier.
Exactly. Then we also have Andy Orgel. You've got a longer relationship with Andy. Why don't you talk about him a little bit?
Andy he hates when I call him a dinosaur. He's probably listening right now. But Andy has got a wealth of information and knowledge, and he's one of the few guys left that actually started a network, and he started a bunch of them. He was a part of the startup team of Arts and Entertainment and Nickelodeon and MTV, a part of the movie channel. He was a CEO of a couple networks himself, The Box. I don't remember everything Andy's done. He's got a tremendous resume, and we really think that for us to be successful is combining traditional business models with new business models together. And Andy certainly has the experience on the traditional stuff, and we have an amazing business plan that we're going to be putting out soon that we've all been working on to launch Weed TV.
Right, and then we have Jason Jang. Jason's a dear friend of mine. We go back years and years to Rochester, New York, and actually before that, Syracuse, New York. Coincidentally, we lived there first and then moved from Syracuse to Rochester. Jason's our facilities manager, very, very bright individual. He's all mastered up, has a lot of formal education, he has a lot of experience. I mean, you've been working with him since you've been
look, Jason, I just can't keep pinching ourselves how lucky we have. I look at the other facility operational managers of competitors in the Nevada market and just in the marijuana market in general, and a lot of these guys are homegrown people or their family members. Jason knows how to work with people. He's got a psychology background. He ran a lab. He ran grow facilities on the East Coast. I mean, if you ever wanted to find the perfect person for the perfect job, I don't know how we got lucky with Jason.
Again,
he's amazing.
With drafting our SOPs, our standard operating procedure manual, we don't have the patience for that.
He's an amazing writer.
Frankly, we don't have the wherewithal to do that. You need someone like Jason who has that experience. So we're thrilled to have him on board. And then we also brought on Geoffrey Robinson. Jeff, I know that you're watching in right now. Geoffrey's a superstar. Geoffrey came on board originally to help us out with some of the internal stuff that we were working on from a communication standpoint. And since then, it's just snowballed. Jeff and I have been friends for quite a while. Jeff, you got an amazing Rolodex. We love all the contacts you bring to the table.
Thank you as well.
You really bring a lot to the table. You're very dynamic. I think from a startup standpoint, there's very few people that I know, if any, that are better than Jeff when it comes to startup, as far as identifying good opportunities, like we're doing with Marijuana Accelerator, cultivating those, cultivating those opportunities into real companies. Hence why we started Marijuana Accelerator together. And Jeff, you bring a lot to the table. We're thrilled to have you on board. I'd like to bring Geoffrey Lawrence on up here with us.
I'm going to go stick Jeff in the middle.
You're going to stick Jeff in the middle? Okay, that's
stick
good.
you in the middle, Jeff.
Boy.
All right. So,
am I still in the frame here? All right.
All right, cool. So the next topic we're going to talk about, so welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
So Nevada goes recreational and Greenleaf begins generating revenues. So July 1st was the big day. We had a big event at midnight on June 31st. How many days in June?
It was
30th?
June 30th.
June 30th. Really cool event with a local dispensary right down the street called Piso's. And it was just awesome. Because, I mean, that was when Nevada went recreational. The excitement that everybody had.
Thousands of people
was
in line.
contagious. Yeah, thousands of people. We had our WeTV crew. We were filming everything. And who was the first purchase?
First official purchase in Nevada. Another thing to look back in 2017.
It was
That's
Mark.
cool.
And what kind of product did you buy?
I bought Greenleaf Farms Acapulco Gold Rosin.
Exactly. So that was pretty exciting. And, for us internally with Greenleaf Farms, we met all the requirements going into that. So we obtained both our medical and our recreational licenses. And then we started manufacturing and producing our first product, our rosin.
Yeah, and I want to explain something when we're talking about producing revenue. The revenue at this point is really nothing to write home about. We had to create revenue, we had to pay taxes in order to hit all of our compliance issues. But also a lot of it is training and getting people up to speed and learning processes, creating packaging, educational videos, product videos, and getting all these products and all these different pieces of equipment and SOPs and everything approved by the state and the local jurisdictions as we go along the way. And that literally takes months to do. And if we weren't in the marijuana industry, it would have been probably 5 times faster. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
And a lot of that has resonated through the building. A lot of people like, how long is it going to take you guys, to get open and blah, blah, blah. I know this is kind of on our punch list here, but I bring it up while I'm here. We're talking about it. Just to get the 8,000 square foot open that we completed early November, there's police department for security, there's fire department for safety, there's building department for structure, there's another division in building department for mechanical. Then there's the state. You can't do one without the other. There's a very specific order you have to do. And then if one person has a comment, you have to go back and do that and look at that again. Well, we did that through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, and through New Year's. And if the person had a 2-week vacation, we had to wait 2 weeks for that one person to get back. So the good news is our place looks amazing. It's beautiful. We have phase 1 was big enough to facilitate a lot of plants. We have about 550 plants that are anywhere from this tall to that tall. We have another 800 or 900 clones. We have a whole bunch of other plants. We have, I think, close to 20 genetics right now. And we are ramping up. We are going to be moving everything in that big 8,000 square foot room. We have one more person to come through, which is the state. And, we're hoping to get the state through this week. But regardless whether we move it in this week or next week, the plants are going to stop growing, and we have plenty of room for the plants. So we're still going to meet our harvest dates in April, whether or not we were in a month ago or this week.
Yeah, and I think there's been a little bit of a transition too, because the state changed over their seed-to-sale tracking system.
Oh.
They're now using Franwell, which is different from what they were using previously. And, so now all of the licensees like us have to update all of our inventory and stuff. And now we're using RFID tags. And the state actually screwed up their own portal for ordering those tags at first, so everyone ordered the wrong tags, and now we had to go back and order replacement tags. So, a lot of things kind of outside of our control on that, but we're catching up pretty quickly, and we're developing more and more products from week to week too. At first we started with just flour and hash, flour and rosin. Now we're developing hash, and we'll be doing pre-rolls soon. And as we continue to build out our lab and our other facilities, we'll have a wider array of offerings.
Yeah, I will mention one thing about the delays. When we went through phase 2 to have everything approved, we simultaneously have gotten all the permits to get us through the entire rest of phase 3, our full on massive lab, our huge commercial kitchen, 4 more grow rooms. So yeah, we got a little delayed there, but now on the other end, we get to make it up and go accelerate.
And of course, the most positive thing about the market that we're in is the tourism. We have over 52 million people that come here. Las Vegas is positioned to be the largest single market in the world. So we're in the right spot, right time, right market. Let's move on. Let's talk about financing. Mark, you want to take that?
Sure. We brought in considerable amount of money over the last 2017. The majority of it, the lion's share of it, was existing shareholders like you out there that have made a lot of money in the company and said, you know what, I don't want to be a shareholder anymore. I want to be an investor. I believe in you guys. I want to write a check directly to the company.
It's amazing how many unsolicited phone calls we got asking what opportunities were available. So
yeah, if anyone out there really believes in the company, contact us and tell us you want to write a check,
exactly.
and we'll come up with terms that are in line with everyone else's with their. In addition to that, we made a commitment about 4 months ago to do a funding through Kodiak Capital, and we wanted to wait for the right time to do this. There's only certain times when you can do registration documents. You have to have updated financials. You have to do them at the right time. We're actually
material events. There's a lot of things.
There's quiet periods and stuff. But anyway, that process is underway, and we will have a registration document that will be approved sometime in the very near future.
And we anticipate, as we put in the release, we anticipate anywhere between $5.5 and $18 million coming in for financing. So we're really excited about that. That should give us all the working capital that we need to move forward. And
we got some big plans. We don't know.
We do, but for our current announced plans right now. Mark, I want you to talk about the Comcast settlement. Because this is something that you've been You've been working on this for a long time, not only on the legal aspect of it, but actually doing the work.
Yeah, look, the Comcast has been a good and bad thing for us. We probably wouldn't be in the marijuana business if they didn't breach their agreement with us, some years ago. In that case, we'd probably be a $500 million media company in a little different space. So we, because of that, we had to reinvent ourselves. We looked at this industry. How can we do what we do really well, which is media, and combine it together with an emerging market and put them together. So that's what we've done. The case could have dragged on for another year and a half.
And I'll never forget the conversation we had. So once upon a time, we were using this space for the Libertarian Party of Nevada headquarters, and in this room that we're in right now, we decided on the final language in which direction we wanted to go on for the ballot initiative, which became question 2 in this room. And then Mark saw all this stuff going on with, you have all this marijuana meetings. Do you remember what you asked? You said, Brett, do you really think that this marijuana industry is going to be big? And I'm like, it's going to be huge. And then shortly thereafter, we figured out how can we enter into that marketplace from a media standpoint. We weren't even thinking about growing or anything else. That wasn't even up on the docket yet. But that's when we started looking at domain names, and that's when you found WeTV.com and said, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think I found the domain name. We've got it. So that's some nostalgia, because that was right here in the room.
Yeah, look at we wrote about a month ago, we put out a press release, which was a kind of a, what are we going to do at Vegas on Demand, kind of the end of an era with the whole Comcast thing. But it really isn't. It really is.
It's a beginning.
It's the beginning. And when you look at the legacy of the company has always been in media, always been in technology, always has been creative. We got amazing people. Michael Burke.
Superstar.
Yes, another superstar. We are going to really exploit the heck out of the media side of things. The Comcast, even though we're not allowed to talk about what the dollars were, it was meaningful, very meaningful to us, also meaningful to put it away. There's a lot of other things that were in the settlement that aren't even just monetary, but we think potentially could be massive, bigger than anything, monetary that we could have ever gotten. It's just kind of good. Sometimes you got to be out with the old to be in with the new, and it was time to clean house with that a little bit. And we think we did good. We think we did the right thing for the shareholders and stuck up for, and made a wrong right.
Right, and to that end, you, a previous board member that was been with the company for a long time, Michael Burke, Andy Orgel, Jeff. I was traveling, so I didn't work on it very much. But you guys worked on this pretty amazing. We titled it the Players Network Media and Technology Report. So in the release that went out today, we put another link to that. Please take the time to go through and read that, because again, it kind of goes through the whole history. Addresses who, what, when, where, why, and how, and most importantly, next. What we're going to be doing next.
Yeah, look, the history and everything we've learned is going to give us a second-to-none business model that's going to help us pretty much dominate the marijuana space, in addition to other industries if we decide to go in them. And when I'm saying dominate it, I'm really saying that I honestly feel that way. We do have a business model that is going to give us data, information, access to customers, access to building brands, an amazing platform to market Greenleaf Farm products on there, as well as a platform that anybody in the marijuana space, no matter what your product is, you can hook a latch on the Weed TV train, and we'll be glad to help you build your brands as well. Really, Weed TV is going to be much like Switzerland, and we're going to be a financial center, we're going to be a hub, and you're going to see all that come alive in the first couple months of this year, not just the content, but you're going to see everything else come alive.
Yeah, I think the platform that we have is really powerful. I don't want anyone to get the impression it's just some type of marketing arm for Greenleaf Farms, because it's actually much bigger than that. It offers multiple revenue streams that we can exploit, and I think on its own as a standalone entity, Weed TV is going to be highly profitable.
I think it's going to be massive. I mean, I've thought that since the very beginning, and the way that we're positioning ourselves is pretty unique. But
Weed TV is actually next.
That is the next topic. I want to talk about the. Let's talk about the video platform. Let's talk about Weed House, because we're going to spend some time on this. I think that's really important for our shareholders to understand the madness and mayhem that went on, and the beautiful content that we got out of it.
Yeah, look at content is king. That's been a saying for a long time. People want fresh content. They want current. They want relevant. A lot of times you're retelling the same story over and over again, but the weed industry has so many new stories. Up until this point, if you search the internet and if you look at what other weed internet channels are doing, they're really the same thing. Let me do the human interest story on the patient who had cancer. Let me go out to some cannabis cup or some event and shoot some stuff. Let me find some musician and have him be smoking pot on there. It's all really the same stuff.
Right. Not that that's bad content, but it's very repetitive, and people haven't really broadened that content scope. So
when Michael and I were, we were going to do the Weed House event, we only did it like 5 weeks pre-production. Here I am, slapping myself on the wrist. Wish I would have 2 months or 3 monts. But
and I remember that conversation. What do you think about an end of summer really cool content gathering?
Yeah. Any time you can take one location and utilize it for several different pieces of content, your production cost comes way, way, way down, and it becomes more efficient. So within the Weed House, we had this amazing location.
Amazing location.
Amazing location. We had a 120,000 gallon pool with waterfalls and beaches, which made the backdrop for this incredible photo shoot with beautiful women.
With lazy rivers, gazebos, sand beaches, hot tubs galore. Three different environments that were enclosed.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
the production took place the same weekend during iHeart Music Festival and Life is Beautiful, which are two massive festivals out here that draw hundreds of bands and thousands of celebrities and all kinds of people. And we gave them a place to disappear to. Like when they weren't at the festival, they can come and hang out at the Weed House. So we got a lot of celebrities that popped in there. We got a lot of people that are on camera. Massive social media influencers that were there. We had a TV show called Blunt Talk, Pillow Talk, Pot and Pan. We had the Weed Bowl, the Budmaster. They're all different concepts. The Budmaster is very interactive because you're going to watch a clip of it, then you're going to be able to participate with Budmaster and say, you know, multiple choices, different options, answering questions, and you'll be able to select online on Weed TV what your answer is, and you'll watch the rest of the video and you'll see, you know, how well you did, and you'll have a point system.
Right, and since this was early fall, we kind of made an executive decision to just kind of push this off to about now. We're getting ready to release all this content.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting together a really cool distribution strategy. It's going to involve interactivity through social media, a lot of social aspects to this. And so our first 7 series, right, are going to be released here very, very soon.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times when you watch something on TV, it was filmed a half a year ahead of time. It was filmed in advance. One of the reasons we're not releasing it as well is we've been taking sizzle reels of each program and we've been introducing to sponsors. We would like, when we release the content, to have sponsors connected to it, so we're actually not just showing it for free, we're actually making money on it. So when we do release it, we want you to watch as many shows as you possibly can.
And by the way, it will be free to the consumer. All of you guys, you'll go to weedtv.com if you haven't done so already, and you'll set up an account. And all this content is going to be available for free, so we're not charging for any of this.
Yeah, we also, we haven't officially released it to the public yet, but we actually have a mobile reporter app, which is really cool. You won't be able to see this that well, but it says Weed TV on it.
The camera is there.
It says Weed TV on it here. We have watch. We have all different kind of channels that are set up here that you can watch. Different people can create their own channels, just like YouTube. But we also have this great feature that says Go Live here. So I can actually go live. Can you see that, guys? I'm going live on Weed TV. Well, you're live on Facebook right now. It's a
reality show on a reality show.
Yeah, and the reason why to have something live like that is everyone, you know, said, oh, you're just wanting to, you know, have a bunch of girls over at the Weed House, blah, blah, blah. The girls were actually auditioning to be spokesmodels, and the ones that did the best and proved they could be on-camera talent are given this live reporter app, and they'll be sent all around the country to different locations at different weed events. Well, initially country, and they're going to have their own channels. And it's not just girls. We also have guys. We also have. They're not all bikini-clad models. They're weed experts or weed enthusiasts. But that was just one category. So,
but now
it actually makes for an interesting show to watch.
Right now, you might not be able to get the app right now, but you can get this nifty 2018 Weed TV calendar. In the press release, we put a link to this, just to kind of flip through a little bit. You know, we have some information about what went on, pictures of all the girls. These aren't all necessarily winners, but these are all women.
Ones will be selected for the calendar.
Yeah, so calendar, and then at the very, very back, you can see a collage of a bunch of the participants.
If you'd like to support us and help generate some revenue for Weed TV and Players Network, please go buy a calendar. They're $19.95 plus shipping and handling. We'll get it out to you right away. It's still early January.
And the link again is in the press release we put out today. And now I want to shift gears. We did a co-production with Look TV. Now that was in Denver. Denver's very cold. I didn't go. Mark, you went. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened in Denver?
So Look TV is a TV look at your life, and it hasn't launched yet. One of the categories they have down there is kind of millennial marijuana related, and we felt this stuff isn't cheap to do. It costs a lot of money for production. So as long as you have two audiences that really aren't competing with each other, the more distribution you have, the better. The more sponsorship you can have with combined distribution. Plus, we were able to kind of split the production cost. We ended up with some really good content. We have a show focused on a doctor, Dr. Rob, who is kind of going to be like the Dr. Oz of marijuana. Another one called Zach of All Trades, a chef, Zach, who has got a very interesting story and background, and he's interviewing people on a lot of the controversial weed topics, but it's very educational. We started a music series. We shot some music events live on New Year's Eve, and we're going to be continue doing this through January with Look TV. So again, it's more content. So if you take a look at Weed TV, there's our original content that we produce ourselves. There's co-productions, which we share with other people, and then there'll be user-generated content, which is the audience creating their own content. So there's really going to be 3 different levels of content. What is going to be released early this year is going to be the whole section where it's the find section. It's the directories, and that directory is going to be a massive directory hooked up to thousands of different weed-related businesses, and each business will be able to create their own channel as well.
Which is really unique, by the way. I mean, there's really nobody doing that right now. And with all the experience we have with our media background, we've come up with some pretty cool and clever ways for businesses to really get out there and market and promote themselves.
Yeah, this is giving a little glimpse of 2018, but I'll touch on it in a second so people understand what Weed TV really is. So yes, we have the video side like everyone else. Call it Netflix, call it Hulu, call it YouTube, call it any video channel out there. Well, if you have a, let's call it a Facebook page, and you have a Facebook video or YouTube channel, the problem is with that, you don't own your own customer. You know someone is a friend, or they follow you, or they're a subscriber to your channel, but you don't have their credit card information, you don't have their phone number, you don't have their direct way to get in contact with them. Certainly you can message them and do kind of a global thing. Those customers are owned by those platforms that you're on. With the Weed TV platform, we're allowing you to create a channel where you own the customer, you can sell to the customer, and you have a direct relationship with that customer, whether it's someone who came to your dispensary and bought a strain, and now you want to send them offers about other promotions you have, whether you're a cultivator trying to sell your strain to a dispensary, or a lighting manufacturer, a nutrient company. It really is not just media, but it's becoming a virtual marketplace. Sure. Our business model is really simple. We're just going to a very small monthly license fee. You'll be able to be on our platform and create your own channel, and we'll give you all these digital tools to be able to monetize. Our average cost is going to be about $500 a month. If you're a small business, it might be $200. If you're a larger manufacturer, it might be $2,000. But $500 a month, we've estimated our audience to be at roughly 70,000 businesses between and those are 70,000 businesses in the marijuana space right now. Smoke stores, vape stores, dispensaries, cultivators, doctors, artists, financial people, public companies.
High level.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you do
yeah,
got a lot more to go through.
Okay, but anyway, if we can capture only 10% of them, that's $42 million a year on just a license fee. That's only one revenue stream Weed TV is going to have.
Now the next topic I'm really afraid to even bring up, because you got to keep it really short. High stakes. So what I want to talk about, I'm going to kick us off. Mark has done a fantastic job of securing and obtaining sponsors for high stakes. So high stakes, high level, Mark, is what?
Filming for the last 3 years.
I'm saying this because this is like his passion project, and he could talk about this for days. Yeah. So Jeff and I, we're going to cut him off.
Look at filming for the last 3 years, what it takes to start a a marijuana business from getting your license, develop your building, developing your brand, to expanding it. One of the things we're going through right now is strategizing on how to get dispensaries for the company as an expansion of Greenleaf Farms. That will be many episodes of high stakes of what we have to do to go through that. It's kind of a book for anyone interested in looking to be involved with the marijuana space, but what we did is we integrated through product placement all these sponsors. So every single person involved, whether it's our software company giving a seed to sale software or the nutrient company, is a part of the TV show. So it's a double-edged sword. It's providing us products that we need to operate our business at, in most cases, zero cost, and it's providing revenue streams as well, and it's providing, allowing all these sponsors are going to create their own channels, so it actually becomes the first, 20 or so channels on Weed TV will be our sponsored channel. So it's a win-win. Is that?
Yeah, it's a really great synergy between our different brands.
Yeah, no, you did a great job. Now I want you to take this one. We're going to go back to the beginning of the opening letter to the shareholders before we got into the individual stuff. We got to talk about the hiccup we experienced last week with
Mr.
Jeff
Sessions.
Sessions. And Jeff, I want you to take this and.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that pickup was kind of really overblown. Market seemed to overreact. What happened was, for those who may not know, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions rescinded the Cole Memorandum, which is this Obama-era policy from the Justice Department that provided enforcement guidelines to all the U.S. attorneys in their respective districts, saying that the Justice Department's priority for enforcing federal marijuana laws was not to go after state-regulated marijuana businesses that were in full compliance and didn't do things like divert marijuana to minors or across state lines or send it to federal lands and things like that. The real motivation behind the Cole memo when they first issued it was to allow state-regulated marijuana businesses to have banking access. Now the banks made their own business decisions after that the compliance to go along with the Banking Secrecy Act and other things was just still too complex, and they just didn't want to do it anyway. So the Cole Memorandum wound up having almost no effect. And so now that it's been rescinded, we're basically at the same point that we were before.
Well, let's talk about the resources that are available to prosecute marijuana.
Right. So what really protects the marijuana industry is what's called the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment. It's a rider to the federal budget document, which is legislated, by the way. Cole Memorandum was never law. It's not even a regulation.
It's a memo.
Yeah. It's just a note. So actually, U.S. attorneys never even had to follow it. It was just kind of advice. Whereas the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment is legislation. It can't be changed without Congress.
Sure.
And Congress has repeatedly kept that in place, even after Mr. Sessions begged them last year to remove it. So that prohibits the Justice Department from using any financial resources to prosecute a marijuana business that's in compliance with state laws. And what I think is really interesting is if you look at last week when that announcement came out, across the market, every marijuana stock was down 30%, including marijuana stocks that aren't based in the United States. So Canadian firms were down 30%, where Mr. Sessions has no jurisdiction at all. So if you want any evidence that this was an overreaction by the market, that's it.
Yeah, that's
a good point. Yeah.
Thank you for that. You did a great job with that. And again, when you two did the video the day of, I just feel like a lot of other people who are in the industry like we are, market's overreacted.
Look. If you're truly a long-term investor and not, necessarily just trading in and out of the stocks, and you sold, you should feel safe that nothing's going to happen based on this particular thing. I can't tell you that there can't be some other act of God or something, but you really should take a look at your portfolio again and really consider taking a position back with us because we do believe we're one of the best companies out there, and certainly the price of our stock is cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So the next topic is one of my passion project. It's Marijuana Accelerator, and as Mark correctly pointed out in the letter that he wrote to you, you haven't heard from me since the beginning of November. fourth quarter last year, I was on the road. I was meeting with a bunch of different companies, looking for some new deals that we can do, not just for Marijuana Accelerator, but for Players Network, Greenleaf Farms, meeting with a lot of different groups and organizations, and just kind of pounding the pavement. And I'll tell you, Marijuana Accelerator is something that I think could be very, very, very cool. When we initially started this, I'll just give you a quick background. I was literally developing our partners page for Players Network, and I was talking about on the page, you know, we have this network that we've established of marijuana entrepreneurs, the resources that we have because we've gone through the motion. We have some experience. I mean, we've been in the industry now for about 3.5 years, right? And we're like, you know, we're the veterans now. We've gone through a lot of the stuff and a lot of on-the-job training. But so I was building out the partnership page, and I'm like, you know what? This really sounds like an incubator is what we're offering. You know, we've got a lot of these companies that you got that real quick? Run. We've got a lot of these companies that just need help. They need a push in the right direction. And so that's what we wanted to do. And we had an initial focus of marijuana tech and marijuana media. A couple reasons for that. One is marijuana technology and media. It's a scalable.
And we also can help with that.
Well, it's our core competency, and we have the technology, you know, the pedigree in technology and the acumen when it comes to media, certainly. And you know, there's a lot of things that we can do in that realm. And plus, those companies, they don't need a lot of capital. It's not like Greenleaf Farms or other ventures that we're looking at. It takes a huge infusion of capital just to get the first revenue. When it's marijuana tech or marijuana media, it could be something where you could deploy, you know, $50,000. You develop a cool whiz-bang app, and the next thing you know, you've got 100,000 users. So all of that helps us, going back to our original intent with Weed TV, which is building a massive database of marijuana consumers.
Yeah, I mean, also, we are a marijuana licensed cultivator and producer, so you know, certainly not going to incubate a competitor. And if there's somebody that offers a product that we currently don't have, we can always do some type of joint venture or
acquisition.
Right.
And you know, part of our deal when we put this together is at Players Network, we have first right of refusal of any financing, any acquisition. So we still had that partner-esque, the spirit of the partner page, but we've taken it to a whole nother level. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, we brought on Geoffrey Robinson. He's based out of Barcelona. He's my partner in this deal. He's a co-managing director. He's really leading the charge. And you know, we have operations here in Las Vegas and Barcelona, which puts us in a pretty unique situation because as we, as a company, start to focus on our global expansion, which, believe it or not, is not that far down the road, we have a great asset in Barcelona that can help basically straddle Europe and beyond.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know that Jeff used to run the business incubator at Stanford, right? So, I mean, that's quite a qualification for us to be able to bring someone like that on.
And he had an internet startup meetup group that it was in excess of 225,000 people. So we've got a lot of updates. I wish I could tell you guys. I just can't tell you guys right now what's going on. But we've got a lot of really cool things going on. We also announced a strategic relationship with Mobo Vivo, which is a subsidiary of ePlay Digital. That's also a publicly traded company, traded under the symbol EPY. We're working with them. These guys are fantastic developers.
Nice Foods.
Well, we'll get to that. These guys are fantastic developers. They currently have an exclusive deal with MLB, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, also exclusive, where they're doing augmented reality. Now, if you haven't seen this, you've got to check it out. This is on a whole nother level. So the projects that we have right now are going to be very, very easy for them to do. We also have a fantastic deal with Night Foods Holdings. Night Foods, they've developed a category killer, their own category. It's basically nighttime cravings. Quick overview. The CEO, Sean, he realized and did a lot of due diligence and found out that 44% of all snacks consumed are between dinner and bedtime. And he's like, there's got to be a solution to this. So we went out and created this really cool bar, if you will. It's almost like a nutritional bar, and it helps curb your hunger. So when we were introduced to him through Geoffrey Robinson about finding a solution that not only curbed your hunger, but also added CBD and helped you go to sleep. So that's like the dual attack. I think that's great. So we've made some tremendous strides in that. Again, I can't tell you guys about it, but we're getting close, and you're going to be really excited at what we have to say. The next one is bringing our shareholder communications in-house and increase shareholder base. So I'm just going to read some of the stuff that you wrote. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So in early 2017, me, Brett Pojunis, established a plan to bring our shareholder communications in-house to better serve you, the shareholders. We also developed a plan that would help us effectively communicate with our shareholders. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about, we feel we do a pretty darn good job of being transparent. Obviously we do what we have to do, which is the 8Ks, the press releases, stuff of that nature. But we feel we go above and beyond what the average publicly traded company does. And candidly, I challenge you guys to find another publicly traded company that does this, that speaks directly to our shareholders, that answers the phone, that replies to emails, that has people set up specifically to facilitate inbound phone calls, so on and so forth. We're doing the best that we can, and we're going to make it even better in 2018. So I've got some personal goals. But you got to go to our website if you haven't done so already, playersnetwork.com. That's our corporate website. And then from there you go to ir.playersnetwork.com. That's our investor relations website.
Please sign up.
Yeah, please sign up. You go to and all the links are in the release that you guys got today. But we've also taken a back to basics approach, and we wanted to do all the fundamentals. I think so many companies they're trying to do all these crazy things that they forget to do the basic things of answering the phone, sending out emails, replying to mail, all the things that you would take for granted. So we're certainly doing that, and we're trying to do the best job we can. We've increased our social media presence dramatically. We started with virtually nothing about a year ago. Not nothing. We were doing okay, but this last year has been crazy. But specifically, our shareholder base. So we ran some numbers, and it looked like we had about 1,800 shareholders in the beginning of 2017. We've increased that by over 500% to over, close to 8,400 shareholders.
Yeah, we have definitely over 8,400 shareholders.
And we haven't even pulled the Novo list in a while, so we don't know exactly what that number is. Then we have David Kleppinger, who we brought on board. His number and email address is in the release, so you can contact him. He's available. If he's not fielding inbound phone calls, he's contacting people who have reached out and filled out that form that Mark was talking about on the investor alert. So please, if you have not done so already, please fill that form out. And then over the next month, you're going to see a pretty big increase in what we're doing with social media. We've got a pretty big strategy. The first strategy was to build the audience. The second strategy is to build a content strategy so that when we put press out like we did today, you'll see we got a press release across the wire. Everyone who signed up for the investor alerts received a separate email just to remind them. And our next step is to add mobile technologies with SMS so we can almost do real time. Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty darn good job. And if you guys have any ideas on what you can do, or what we can do to help improve, we're all ears. We can always make it better. So that's kind of our update. Dave, would you mind seeing if there's any comments in there?
Traditionally when we've done our wrap up, our year-end wrap up, traditionally
I got it.
We have an outlook for the next year. We've done this every year. This was enough on its own. The outlook is massive, and there's so much news and information and deals that we've been working on for the last several months that are coming to fruition. And anyone that wants announcements, just be patient. We're not holding off on anything because of Mr. Sessions. We have a tremendous amount of information and growth. We want to treat this as a public company. We're not happy with just We TV and Marijuana Accelerator and Greenleaf Farms. We want to really take these businesses and grow them. And you're gonna see all kinds of great things coming out of us. The nice thing about it is we have all the capital we need is committed. It's in place. We have a lot of wiggle room right now that we didn't have a year ago. A year ago, we had to be a little more conservative and focused.
So let me do this. Respect to time, we've got a lot of questions. So I'm just going to pick a couple of them. Again, I'm working on my phone. I'm going to walk away and come back, but I'm going to kick us off with a couple. One is, what's the status? Give me 1 second. I lost it. My phone's not cooperating with me. They want to know what the status is of the dispensary. So while you guys take that, I'm going to figure out what the other questions are.
You go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we're exploring that from many different avenues. We'd like to get multiple dispensaries if we can. I guess attack point number one for us is the state will be issuing new licenses at some point later this year. They've circulated draft regulations that will govern that process. We think that we can be competitive under the way that it's written now, but we're trying to improve them to make it a fairer playing field, not just for us, but for everyone. There's going to be a hearing on that next week. It's just a hearing. It's not an official hearing where they're going to adopt the regulations. It's just to gather feedback, and so we've gotten together with a bunch of other growers that operate large facilities like ours, and we're all going to speak with a unified voice, and we have some draft language that we want to get amended into those regs. And then after that, it'll have to go be approved by the legislature. So there's a couple months ahead of us there.
Yeah, look, realistically, new licenses, applications aren't even expected to be out till probably May. And then it could be 90 days after that till they're due. Then it could be, this is end of 18, early 19. That's a bad part about it. I mean, the good part about it is there'll be 62 more licenses in the state, and the only people that can apply for those licenses are existing license holders like ourselves, no matter if you have a dispensary license, cultivation, or production. So we have already locked down 2 amazing pieces of real estate. So we're going to apply for probably 4 licenses. If we got 2, we'd be ecstatic. 1, we'd be happy. I mean, the locations we have could be some of the best in the world, and I kid you not Nevada, just the world.
Yeah, we think the 2 that we've locked down are literally the 2 best in the city, and we have big plans for those. We already have architectural mock-ups and things. So
we're not going to show you that to you. You'll get too excited, and before you know it, there'll be all kinds of chatter about us. But that's good. Brett, what's the next question we got?
I'm working on it. Everyone just has random comments.
Okay.
How do we intend on going global?
How do we intend on going global? Okay. We believe in the U.S. market. We believe that it's competitive, and that there's a lot of states we have no interest in going into because they're issuing too many licenses. We're exploring right now internationally. So far, we have 3 countries on our hit list right now that are where Nevada was 5 years ago. So we believe that we can take our experience from Nevada and go into a new market and potentially be, dominated, be one of only a few maybe license holders and have direct relationships with the government. So we are working on 3 international markets right now. It's too early to disclose which markets they are, where we are. At this point, the relationships, there's talks, there's visits, there's exchange of information. But we want to grow the company not only from a brick and mortar standpoint, but a digital standpoint. Some of the global expansion could be taking Weed TV and doing a license deal with it, say for South America for a Spanish speaking, or it could be moving it over to Europe and doing multiple languages over there, or doing an Asian version of it. So don't just think of global as brick and mortar. Think of it as potentially digital as well. And we hope by the middle of this year to be able to have things developed enough to be able to disclose to you what our plans are.
Yeah, we continue to believe that Las Vegas is going to be the best single market, not just in North America, but in the world, because the visitor volume is so high, and people are coming to do things they might not always do at home. So it makes Las Vegas really potentially lucrative. But we are looking at other states as well, but particularly a handful that have sharp restrictions on the number of licensees that they'll allow. Those are the ones we're interested in because with restricted supply, they're more valuable.
So I think that I want to make one comment, going back to what you were saying about how I was pretty quiet in the end of fourth quarter last year. We've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. We've been working really, really, really hard. And look at our history. Whenever we go quiet for a while, there's usually something interesting happening because we've been keeping our head down. So we've got a lot of really cool, fun things coming up for you guys. And just stay tuned. And again, we want to thank you because we can't do this. We couldn't have achieved the things that we have achieved without your support. So thank you so much.
Yeah, look, we know this is a long video, but please share it with any of your friends, any of your family, any other investors. Please post it and put the word out what we're doing.
And again, so stuff like this, I'm going to take advice from David, just to remind you that this is kind of an informal thing. Think about us when we do these videos. We're wearing sweaters. We're not suited up. We're in your living room. We're talking to you directly. We like this whole informal atmosphere, so we want to be able to give you guys these types of updates. Are there any questions, Brian? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there's 2 questions.
What?
First one, is a share buyback by the company a possibility in the future?
Let me take that right off the bat, because I'm going to tell you, as a financial person, I don't really like share buybacks in principle, because that's basically an admission that you have no investment opportunities that are greater than your cost of capital as a company. And I don't believe that's the case in the marijuana space.
That's true.
Tell me how you really feel.
I think the best thing we can do is to add value to the existing shares that we have.
Exactly. Brian, what's the second one?
The second one was, what's going on in New York?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's freezing cold right now. I saw a squirrel frozen to a tree. Well, in New York, that's the financial capital of the world, and I've spent a lot of time there lately.
Yeah, we don't have any plans right now to go to New York, if that's what you're asking.
Is that from a seed to sale standpoint? If it is,
We don't know. Just says ask New York.
Yeah. So
It's a beautiful city.
well, let's do this. We got things to do, so we got to get back to work and keep building this huge company for you guys. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, Players Network shareholders, and thank you again for your continued support.